the House this afternoon is the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill, National Amendment Bill number 60 of 2023. If you're just joining us, this is a live broadcast in partnership with Kenya Broadcasting Corporation and the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit. Entering the chambers now is the Speaker of the National Assembly, Honorable Moses Wetangula, and I will now hand you over for the live broadcast. My name is Doris Nkatha. Enjoy your viewing. Good afternoon.
Waheshimiwa, na tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, ambaye kwa hekima na wema wako umeteua nyadhifa za viongozi na mabunge kwa ustawi wa jamii na utawala wa haki wa wanadamu. Twakusihi utazame kwa neema nyingi sisi watumishi wako ambao wameridhika kutuita ili tutekeleze shughuli muhimu za jamhuri yetu. Twakuomba uteremshie baraka zako sisi tuliokutanika hapa, na utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili utukufu na sifa zako ziendelezwe, na ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Sawa. Order, honorable members. Order, honorable members. Order. Your speaker has functioning ears and can hear you very well. And you don't have to regurgitate what you have said. You've said it, I've heard, loud and clear. Let's carry on with the business. I will pay attention to that. Budget is coming next Thursday. It's not today.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have a communication in relation to Sabina Chege, but it will come by about 3:15. So we can go on with other businesses.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority Leader. And I think you promised to also make a statement today about CDF.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. But so, if you allow me...
So are those loud statements
they are well taken care of, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, if you permit me to start with the normal Thursday statement. And to begin, Honorable Speaker, let me take this opportunity to thank members of the budget.
Order, majority, we are on papers.
Oh, papers?
We are on papers.
Mr. Speaker, you must understand when there is a chorus of no CDF, no budget,
yes,
you tend to rush to statements. But allow me to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 8th June, 2023. The Kenya Biovaccine Institute Limited accounts, the financial statements for the following institutions for the financial year ended 30th June 2022. Kenya Biovax Institute Limited, Cooperative University of Kenya, Meru Science and Technology, University of Embu, Agri and Cooperative Training and Consultants Limited, Sigalagala National Polytechnic, Ewasongiro South River Basin Development Authority, Egerton University Investment Company, Engineers Board of Kenya, Konza Technopolis Development Authority, University of Eldoret, Regional Center on Groundwater Resource Education, Training and Research in Eastern Africa, 13 National Environment Tribunal, 14 National Environmental Complaints Committee, 15 Tourism Regulatory Authority, 16 Wildlife Clubs of Kenya, 17 Tourism Fund, 18 Koitalel Samoei University College, 19 Pyrethrum Processing Company of Kenya Limited, 20 the Tea Board of Kenya, 21 Nyayo Tea Zones Development Corporation, 22 National Council for Children Services, 23 Kenya Airports Authority, 24 Kenyatta International Convention Center, 25 Kenya Forestry Research Institute, 26 Adi Waterworks Development Agency. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Thursday, 8th June 2023. Reports of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs on its consideration of the following. Number one, nominees for appointment as members of the Judicial Service Commission. And number two, the Penal Code Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 56 of 2022. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to lay.
Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Lands.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Thursday, June 8th, 2023. Report of the Departmental Committee on Lands on its consideration of the Land Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 40 of 2022. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Honorable Naomi Wako, CBS MP.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I move notice of motion.
I beg to move.
I beg to move notice of motion on urgent action to address the recent surge in road accident in the country. Aware that the National Transport and Safety Authority Act 2012 provides for the establishment of the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, further aware that the authority, in line with the Section 4 of this Act, plays a critical role in ensuring the provision of safe, reliable, and efficient road transport service. Concerned that there has been an alarming surge in road accidents in the recent past, resulting in loss of lives, injuries, and damage to properties. Further concerned that the authority has not effectively and fully performed its functions of regulating safe and reliable transport service, especially in dealing with public service vehicles. Noting that poor maintenance of motor vehicles and lack of proper regulations are leading contributors to the marked increase in road accidents. Deeply concerned that the school-going children are increasingly becoming victims of these road accidents, recognizing that it is the responsibility of the authority to ensure adherence to the road traffic rules and to establish systems and procedures for and oversees the training, testing, and licensing of drivers. Now, therefore, this House resolves that the government, through the Ministry of Roads and Transport, undertakes a comprehensive overhaul of the transportation sector to provide for proper regulations of the sector and ensure strict operationalization of the traffic regulations to provide a safer and more reliable transport sector. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Naomi Wako, the Honorable Geoffrey Ruku.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to give notice of the following motion that aware that Kenya is an agricultural-based economy with a significant portion of its population relying on farming for their livelihood, noting that the quality and quantity of crop yield in Kenya has been hampered to a large extent by lack of adequate and quality fertilizers, leading to decreased agricultural productivity and economic losses. Further noting that the government has committed to improving agricultural productivity through various initiatives, including provision of subsidized fertilizers, concerned that the cost, quantity, and quality of fertilizers are subsequently increased due to a number of factors, among them high costs of fertilizers due to markup by private suppliers of fertilizers. Further concerned that threat to food security is a threat to national security. Recognizing that government-to-government model has been noted to lower the costs of products. Further recognizing that there are countries willing to enter into a G2G agreement, appreciating that G2G has been proven to be effective in the provision of services that have a direct impact to citizens' livelihoods, including the cost of living such as supply of fertilizers, particularly in countries with similar agricultural conditions as Kenya. This House therefore resolves that the government, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development and its agencies, adopt 1, the government-to-government model in the acquisition and supply of fertilizers by identifying potential partner countries that have surplus and quality fertilizers. 2, a comprehensive program of government-to-government acquisitions and distribution of fertilizers through, among others, Kenya Farmers Association, Kenya Tea Development Agency, Coffee Board of Kenya, Kenya Planters Cooperative Union, Kenya Grain Growers Cooperative Union, Pythagorean Board of Kenya, among others, for increased agricultural productivity. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Ruku, the Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion. That taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as members of the Judicial Service Commission, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 8th June 2023, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 171(2)(h) of the Constitution and Section 8(1) of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 2011, this House approves the appointment of the following members of the Judicial Service Commission, JSC. Number 1, Ms. Caroline Zilani Kingoku Ajoga, and number 2, Honorable Isaac Kiprono Ruto, EGH. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Next, order clerk. Hold on. Honorable members, before I go to the next order, allow me to acknowledge the following institutions in the Speaker's Gallery: Good Testimony School, Embakasi East, Nairobi; Mount Kenya Academy, Nyeri Town, Nyeri; Stepping Stones Elementary School, Kajiado East, Kajiado. On your behalf and on my own behalf, I welcome the institutions to Parliament. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Majority Leader.
Statement. Honorable Speaker, I think I'd rather start with the CDF one.
Whichever you want.
I think in the interest of attention for members, Honorable Speaker, allow me to start with a statement from the National Treasury on CDF, funding of National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF, and the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, GAF. Honorable Speaker, in a letter dated 8th June 2023, addressed to the Honorable Speaker, and they say reference is made to our letter, their letter, referenced AG 1351, Volume 4, 76, dated 24 January 2023, and wish to update the House as follows on the status of NGCDF and GAF disbursements. 1, National Government Constituency Development Fund. The NGCDF fund was allocated 47.2 billion shillings in the financial year 2022-2023. The National Treasury has so far disbursed Kenya shillings 18 billion. In addition, a further disbursement of 5 billion shillings is being processed to be released on Friday, that's tomorrow. And a further Kenya shillings 5 billion will be released on Tuesday of next week. This brings the total disbursements to Kenya shillings 38 billion. The National Treasury hopes to clear the outstanding balance of 19.2 billion by the close of the financial year. The delay in keeping up with weekly disbursements of Kenya shillings 2 billion was occasioned by challenges in resource mobilization, both domestically and externally. Honorable Speaker, if you can protect me from the heckling from a senior member like the Honorable John Buddy. And he has the liberty to wait for me to read the statement, and he can request, as he knows, to contribute other than heckling, and I'm just reading what is on the statement.
Go ahead.
John Buddy has been here for long enough to know.
Order.
To be a good example to the new members.
Order.
Honorable Speaker, I was saying the delay in keeping up with weekly disbursement of Kenya shillings 2 billion was occasioned by challenges in resource mobilization, both domestically and externally. However, the situation has improved with the disbursement of funds from World Bank Development Policy Operations Facility, which was disbursed this week. 2, on the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, GAF. The National Government Affirmative Fund, GAF, was allocated a budget of 2.13 billion in the financial year 2022-2023. The National Treasury has so far released 50% of this allocation, an amount of 1.065 billion, and is in the process of disbursing the balance of 1.065 billion, constituting the balance of the 50% before the end of this financial year. And as I said, beginning with disbursements tomorrow and Tuesday of next week. Honorable Speaker, it is also worth noting that the National Treasury, in keeping with the commitment made before IBEC and to the nation earlier this week, late last week, and the commitment this week to disburse to our county governments, that from today, Honorable Speaker, the National Treasury has released funds and is releasing funds going to our county governments. In conclusion, the National Treasury remains committed to funding NGCDF, GAF, and our county governments and other items of interest, both to the members of the public and the honorable members of the National Assembly and the Senate, appreciating the support and collaboration between Parliament and the Executive. You are sincerely Njuguna Ndungu, Professor CBS, Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury. Honorable Speaker, let me also add, besides that written statement, I've had an engagement this morning, and indeed up to this lunchtime, with CS, National Treasury, Professor Ndungu, who is in Naivasha with the Finance Committee, and he did commit that this statement was coming and asked that we do engage with the Director General, the Director General Accounting Services, Mr. Ndungu, who we have engaged over this lunch hour, and he has confirmed that indeed by tomorrow, as they have committed, he is making arrangements to disburse the 5 billion shillings, and by Tuesday next week, they will have disbursed, another 5 billion shillings. And they commit, Honorable Speaker, saying the challenges have been occasioned by the challenges that we are all aware since we all live in this country. There have been challenges with the exchequer. There has been challenges with receivables in government, Honorable Speaker, and therefore he has committed with the support that they have now received from the World Bank on that facility that they have, and the tax collections they have made, they continue to mobilize. They will be able to disburse all of CDF, and no amount of CDF for this financial year will be carried forward to the next financial year. And I think, Honorable Speaker, that is very important, so that we do not have arrears. As you are aware, Honorable Speaker, the Budget and Appropriations Committee also did allocate some money towards clearance of arrears. They have also indicated that they will clear those arrears, and they do not intend to carry forward arrears from this year into the next financial year. And he has committed that they will endeavor and ask for your thanks, members of Parliament. He did ask me to ask members of Parliament to indulge them, and thank you for your patience over that time, because many of our constituents have been suffering without CDF, Honorable Speaker. I myself, I was in my constituency over the recess period, and I visited at least 3 schools which, as a result of the heavy rains, pit latrines collapsed. And the children in those schools now are using semi-permanent pit latrines because we didn't have even emergency funds. We had cleared all our emergency money. And therefore, I, like every other member of this House, I am looking forward to the disbursement of this money. And hopefully by the end of next week, I can promise the children of Karai Day Secondary School, those of Gadhiru Primary School, and one other school which I can't remember offhand, Honorable Speaker, who have requested for emergency funding for toilets and other needs, including bursary, Honorable Speaker, they should be able to assuage. But Honorable Speaker, if you allow me, let me also plead. And I don't do this on behalf of the National Treasury, I do this as a leader in this country. That is, it is so easy to say things that will excite the masses out there. But we all live in this country, and we lived in this country before this year. And we know the situation of our economy. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, even as we engage on matters that we will be engaging on this afternoon on budget, on the appropriations report, or the report of the Budget and Appropriations Committee, let it be at the back of our minds that whatever expenditures we are discussing, and including NGCDF, because it is in that report. And the Honorable John Mbadi, we remember back in 2018, we got to a point where we even had to take a haircut on NGCDF. It is good that at least in the last 2 years, amidst all the difficulties, we have not had to take a haircut either on NGCDF or on any other government projects, including the 900 billion shillings of roads committed to over the last 5 years. And this government, Honorable Speaker, has indicated that they intend to finance all those roads across the country without discriminating that this project is in Kikuyu or is in John Mbadi's former constituency or in the constituency of the leader of minority, so that we are able to mobilize resources. Honorable Speaker, I have seen very good analysts on our TV stations. Some saying, oh, the first thing you should do is completely cut on expenditure. Stop all the development projects. But Honorable Speaker, those who have been to a class of economics, like the Honorable Babu Owino, will tell you, if you are to do that, you will be shooting yourselves right in the middle of your toe, the big toe, and you will not be able to work as a country and as an economy. Because it is these development projects that spur economic growth in our countries. When roads are being constructed in your constituencies, they create employment, and people therefore are able even to raise more taxes because they have disposable income. If you were to go that route, Honorable Speaker, as I've seen some analysts on TV encourage us to do, and I say this, Honorable Speaker, because this afternoon we have before us, I know when we were here up to 9 p.m., many of us were not here. We have the second reading on the budget and appropriations report. As we contribute, it is good that we have that at the back of our minds. That even as analysts who seem very knowledgeable on TV, but I must say some are ignorantly knowledgeable. Because you just need to have attended a basic economics class to know that if you are to cut down on government expenditure, government is the single largest spender of resources. And without disbursement of resources from government, be it at the national level or at the county level, this economy will come to a standstill, Honorable Speaker. And we must therefore, even as we consider this budget appropriations report, have at the back of our minds that also what we will finance is what will be before us when the Finance Committee finally tables their report, Honorable Speaker. And without much more, Honorable Speaker, on that matter, if you allow me to move on to the second statement, my usual Thursday statement on the House Business Committee. Honorable Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Millie. What is the point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the Majority Leader for presenting that. And I just wish, before I raise my point of order, to applaud him to laud him for acknowledging that the last two years, I hope he's seeing that I'm underlining the last 2 years, CDF was not reduced. And I'm glad that he's also acknowledging the challenges of running a government. He's always been complaining, now he's on the receiving end. But having said that, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted the Majority Leader to clarify that he's actually indicated that the World Bank has given some money, and he has further said that today, money is being disbursed to the counties, and every day we sit here, money is disbursed to the counties, but we shoot ourselves on the foot because we are the ones who prepare the budget, and there's no money taken to NGCDF. Why are we not prioritizing NGCDF and GAF? Why are we not prioritizing ourselves? Why are we treating ourselves as children of a lesser God? So, yes, second-class citizens, and we are the ones who are in charge of the budget. So, Mr. Speaker, if the Majority Leader could please explain why that money from the World Bank is not prioritized to us, and secondly, why we are putting counties ahead of the national government money, CDF. And our counties, people are suffering. I'm glad you have said that your toilets are down. Even ours, the toilets are down and the classes are down with roofs and the rains, and roads are completely messed up. So why are we not prioritizing NGCDF? You know, I'm annoyed until now I'm getting a Kikuyu accent. So can you please explain to us why you are not prioritizing? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Go on with your next statement.
Honorable Speaker, Millie says she's getting a Kikuyu accent with prioritizing. But NGCDF, in fact, I've just seen Mr. Ndungu is watching, and he's just sent me a text saying NGCDF and GAF, today we are funding the 5 billion and next week. So he's actually disbursing today, but it will hit the accounts of the board tomorrow. So maybe I have not gotten that right. But as Millie has asked, Honorable Speaker, it is indeed true. Prioritization is with NGCDF and money to the counties. As I've indicated, counties are being funded, and NGCDF is second. Therefore, that, Honorable Speaker, I think is clear that there is that prioritization. And lastly, Honorable Millie, I am yet to run any government. Hopefully, after William Ruto finishes his term, probably myself and the Honorable Speaker will have the opportunity to run a government. I am now oversighting one. Honorable Speaker, allow me now to move to the usual statement on behalf of the House Business Committee.
Order. That statement on CDF is self-explanatory. The only person who raised the issue was Robert Mbui. After he finishes his second statement, I'll give you 2 minutes to make a comment and close it there.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I wish to welcome all members again, once again, back to the after the long recess.
On the same matter, Masara?
Mr. Speaker, for the first time I've heard the majority leader calling the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto. Do you are in any way trying to tell us that you have removed other titles now that you are discussing CDF, Mr. Ichungwa? It is quite out of order for you, the leader of majority, not to use all the titles somebody has earned. So it seems things are not right with the majority leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Order. That is a most frivolous point of order.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. But, Honorable Speaker, you must appreciate the Honorable Masara. At least now he's not protesting and saying he does not recognize President William Ruto, His Excellency President William Samoei Arap Ruto, as a president. At least now he appreciates that the president is Dr. William Samoei Ruto. Honorable Speaker, I wish to welcome back members after the long recess and trust that you are all well refreshed for this part of the second session. Honorable Speaker, as members are aware, the Cabinet Secretary for Education, the Honorable Ezekiel Machogu, CBS, appeared before the National Assembly plenary to answer questions on education matters yesterday, Wednesday, 7th June 2023. I would like to thank members for their continued active participation in this process. With regard to the business for next week, Honorable Speaker, the House Business Committee has scheduled debate on special motions on consideration for a nominee for appointment as the Director General of the National Intelligence Service and 2 nominees for appointment as members of the Judicial Service Commission for next Tuesday. The House is also expected to continue with debate on the second reading of the Statute Law Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2022 and the following motions should they not be concluded today. 1, the general debate on the report on the consideration of the budget estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2023-2024 and the medium term. 2, Report on the ratification of the amended Nairobi Convention and the Protocol for the Protection of Marine and Coastal Environment of the Western Indian Ocean from land-based sources and activities. 3 is a report on ratification of the Kigali Amendment on the Montreal Protocol on the substances that deplete the ozone layer. 4 is a report on ratification of the Bamako Convention on the ban of the importation into Africa and the control of transboundary movement and management of hazardous waste within Africa. And 5, report of the Kenyan delegation to the Parliamentary Dialogue on United Nations Convention Against Corruption, UNCAC, and Global Parliamentarians Against Corruption, GOPAC Annual General Meeting. Honorable Speaker, at the conclusion of the general debate on the budget estimates of revenue and expenditure for the financial year 2023-2024 and the medium term, the House will also consider the annual estimates in the Committee of Supply during the week. On Thursday, 15th June 2023, the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning, Professor Njuguna Ndongo, CBS, will make a public pronouncement of the budget highlights and revenue-raising measures for the financial year 2023-2024 and the medium term as communicated by the Honorable Speaker on Tuesday, 6th June 2023. The House Business Committee shall reconvene on Tuesday, 13th June 2023 to schedule business for the rest of the week. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A, 5 and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Labor and Social Protection is scheduled to appear before the House on the afternoon of Wednesday, 14th June 2023 to respond to the following questions. 1, question number 088 of 2023 by the member for Konoin constituency, the Honorable Brighton Yegon, MP, regarding the welfare of Kenyans working in Saudi Arabia and efforts geared towards regulated licensing of recruiting agencies. 2, question number 089 of 2023 by the member for Yatta constituency, the Honorable Robert Basil, MP, regarding incorporation of senior citizens into the older persons cash transfer scheme. 3, question number 090 of 2023 by the member for Konoin constituency, the Honorable Brighton Yegon, MP, regarding formulation policy framework to support children whose parents or guardians are incarcerated. 4, question number 091 of 2023 by the member for Machakos County, the Honorable Joyce Kamene, MP, regarding the plight of orphans, widows, and widowers in the country. 5, question number 092 of 2023 by the member for Kirinyaga County, the Honorable Njeri Maina, MP, regarding the effectiveness of Inua Jamii program since its inception. And finally, question number 160 of 2023 by the member for Kiambu constituency, the Honorable Mashua Waithaka, MP, regarding eligibility of cancer survivors being registered as persons with disabilities. Honorable Speaker, in accordance with the provisions of Standing Order 42A, 5 and 6, I wish to convey that the Cabinet Secretary for Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development is scheduled to appear before the House on the same afternoon of Wednesday, 14 June 2023, to respond to the following questions. 1, question number 084, 2023 by the member for Mwingi Central, the Honorable Gideon Muliungi, MP, regarding resurveying and correction of titles for parcels of land in Mui Coal Basin, adjudication, survey and title deed issuance for parcels in Mwingi East Sub-County bordering Tana River County. 2, question number 085 of 2023 by the member for Mwingi Central constituency, the Honorable Gideon Muliungi, again, regarding the high-mast security lighting projects undertaken in Mwingi Town. 3, question number 086 of 2023 by the member for Saboti constituency, the Honorable Caleb Amisi, MP, regarding the governance and administrative structures of Kwale International Sugar Company, ownership status of property, land reference number 5004/30/R, and also number 27742. 4, question number 087 of 2023 by the member for Laisamis constituency, the Honorable Joseph Lekuton, MP, regarding Laisamis constituency and county boundaries. 5, question number 109 of 2023 by the member for Nakuru East constituency, the Honorable David Gikaria, MP, regarding the Kazim Tani project phase 3 in 2022 in Nakuru Town East constituency. Question number 117 of 2023 by the member for Embakasi West constituency, the Honorable Mark Mwenje MP, regarding status of ownership of land reference number 12304, original number 1344/1 and 12504 and 12147, original numbers 11344/4, EMCO. Honorable Speaker, I now wish to lay this statement on the table of the House. Thank you. And apologies, it was a long one today.
Thank you, honorable members. I wish to acknowledge in the public gallery Miharati Boys High School, Kipipiri, Nyandarua, Moi High School, Kabarak, Rongai, Nakuru, Arokuyet Girls High School, Bureti, Kericho. On my behalf and on your behalf, I wish to welcome the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Wanjiku Muya has asked me for 1 minute to welcome a school from her constituency. 1 minute exactly.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I take this opportunity to welcome Miharati Boys, one of our great schools from our sub-county headquarters in Kipipiri, and they could not have visited this National Assembly a better time than during budget, and now they have heard from the majority leader. They have good news to take home, inform the parents that NGCDF will be disbursed tomorrow, and your long-awaited computer lab will kickstart construction, and on its completion, we shall ask the majority leader to come and open it so that you can relate your trip in the National Assembly and this budget of this year. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Robert Mbui, 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I want to just clarify that even as I raised this question in the last assembly, this issue of CDF is not an issue of members of parliament, because sometimes the public gets confused. Members of parliament are interested in ensuring that this money goes to the constituencies for development of the constituencies. And I want to thank the majority leader for highlighting even some of the challenges that he's having. Mr. Speaker, my concern is on the dignity of the House. Remember that the CS Treasury has already given 2 letters confirming that money will be disbursed, 2 billion every week, and the first time he failed, the second time he has failed. Simple English tells me that once bitten, twice shy. I don't know when twice bitten what you say, because, Mr. Speaker, 2 times we have actually not gotten the results of what we wanted. And, Mr. Speaker, as we discuss the budget, it is clear that one of the things we have to do is appropriate the funds. The other one is to ensure that there is prudent expenditure of the same funds. Now, we are just a month to the end of the financial year. And we are talking about, Mr. Speaker, from what the majority leader has told us, 38% of this money has been released in the last 11 months. And now he wants us to believe, Mr. Speaker, that we will be able to get 62% within 1 month. Mr. Speaker, I want to propose as follows, Mr. Speaker. Because we are the ones dealing with the budget. And, Mr. Speaker, if for 11 months we have not been able to get the funds for this financial year for National Government Constituency Development Fund, GAF, and also the counties, maybe we suspend the debate on the budget until this money hits our accounts. Then we can come back. You can call us on Saturday, you can call us on Sunday, any day we can come and continue. But let us give them an opportunity to put the money in their accounts, because what they are telling us they'll do in a month, they can do in a day if they are willing to do that. Mr. Speaker, I propose no CDF, no budget. No money for counties, no budget. More GAF, no budget, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Robert Mbui, you brought a very noble request. I would have easily said, go and talk to the Treasury. I directed the majority leader to bring you a response, which he has brought, and they said they are disbursing the money. The debate on the budget is ongoing, and the question will not even be put today. We have up to next week. So I want to encourage you that that extremist position is unhelpful, and that we do not encourage it. When we reach the order, we carry on with the debate. robustly debate as you always do. A budget statement will be presented to this House on Thursday. It falls within the period within which the majority leader has said money will be disbursed. What I thought you'd be negotiating is that when the money is disbursed, I don't know what the regulations say, that when the end of the financial year truncates every expenditure, you ring fence that money to carry on with the programs. If it is safe, then you need not worry. Then I encourage you to engage with the majority leader, and if you have any issues, you can refer to me, because I have constantly gone beyond my duty of call as your speaker to engage the Treasury, to disburse even funds for your mileage claims, for those who get mileage, for your subsistence, and for other things that encourage us to run the house. So I want you to also be fair and patient, and I thank you for raising the issue, because it has elicited a response that looks positive. It may be inadequate, but it's positive. Honorable Ichungwa, Order Wanjala, Honorable Ichungwa, the women rep for Kilifi, has come here to request the chair to ask you whether the disbursement coming today includes money for women MPs. And I thought I heard you say so. So, Honorable Mbeyu, your question is answered. I'm not encouraging any debate on this. Honorable Mbeyu, take your seat, please. He has said he spoke for CDF and women money as well, so you don't need to speak to it. Take your seat. Take your seat. Order. Honorable Mbeyu, when the speaker tells you to take your seat, you gracefully take your seat. And when you came to the chair to make a request, you and I agreed that I'll put it to him, which I have done, and he has given an answer. Now you are reneging on what we just agreed, and that is not being honorable. So I want to... Next order. Next order.
Order number 8, motion, general debate on the proposal to Parliament to consider amending the Constitution and the standing orders. Question to be put.
Order, honorable member, take your seat. I'm putting the question on this matter. Honorable members, I now put the question on the general debate on the proposal to Parliament to consider amending the Constitution and the standing orders. That noting the contents of a memorandum submitted to Parliament by His Excellency the President, asking Parliament to consider initiating amendments to the Constitution, acknowledging that actualization of the proposals which relate to inter alia the composition of Parliament as provided for in Article 97 and 98 of the Constitution, in order to attain the 2/3 gender principle, the creation of the office of Leader of Official Opposition in Parliament, and the inclusion of various funds in the Constitution will necessitate amendment to the Constitution, while the restructuring of parliamentary oversight to allow for cabinet secretaries to appear before the House of Parliament to respond to questions by members would require the amendments of standing orders, further acknowledging that the Speaker, via the notification issued on 9th December 2022, referred the matter raised in the memorandum to the Departmental Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs with regard to proposals relating to the implementation of the 2/3 gender principle and the establishment of the office of the Leader of Official Opposition. The Joint Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, with regard to the proposals to amend the Constitution to entrench the constituency development, Senate